Hi guys, sorry for being late. My computer was compiling the last video recording, so just finished. Do you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, then let's start with something new. I am planning to basically create a dump array here, and then maybe we can add some stuff and remove some stuff. So post and delete basically. Let's create it. I will have something called data base for now, and inside this database will be an array, and inside this array everything will have like
Taha, if you are doing something, we don't see your screen.
oh sorry, thanks for informing me. Yes, now I will create an array here, and inside this array each, let's say, data set will be an object. First one, let's say name is, and then say class, say mm, or something else, something maybe. Mm, let's create a kind of to-do list maybe. It should be easier. And then I'll create for shopping and buy, I don't know, or also study some Node.js. Okay, so we have this array which is called database, and then here I will create a get method which is gonna return uh, my to-do list. So request response, then response send database, format code, and then all. Let's make it to do more simple. So if I go now, ouch, localhost and to do, as you can see, we have something here, and what I will have now, the next one will be another, say, post request. Let's say, okay, again, to do, request, response, and then I will basically add to database request body. Okay, and then yeah, maybe, well, let me think about it. Maybe we can make it, instead of request body, let's say we are making a post request. We can maybe put the data not here, body. Mm, yes, we can make maybe something like that. To do, and then I don't know what, do something else. Okay, not text. It could be text also, by the way. We could say only text and then this, basically. Let's do this. Then request body will be this text. So I will push and then send again database. So let's try this. By now say send. As you can see, we get something, but it's weird. We get empty object. Let's take a look. And let's console log request body. Oops. Console log. So another request. It's empty. Why? Because probably because we said we want to use JSON as a body parser, so that's why we need to use JSON. Let's go back. And then again, I will return this to do. Let's do it now. And then instead of request body, we will say request body to do. Okay. So if I now make call, you see it's coming again and again. And if I make a get call, of course, I will get the same result. And what we can do is also a delete to do request response, and then database, not push, but database. There should be something. Let's try to find something with pop. No, pop will not shift also. I think what we can do is to filter it. Okay. And then with filtering, what we can do is we will get each value one by one, and then if the value is equal, if it's not equal to request body to do, then we will return it. Otherwise, we will not return it if it's if it is the same. So if the requested to do and the filtered value is the same, we will not return. That's why it will be removed from database. Then we will send back again database. Okay. So I will now add 1 minute. There's something wrong. Oh, it's not get. Sorry, post. So, and then if I make delete, this should be deleted, but it's not deleted now. Oh, sorry. Because we cannot send a value, so body is basically empty on delete request because we cannot send anything. So here we are again, we need to use this parameter, this argument. Wait, I think it's parameter. It's called parameter. Yeah. One was query string, query parameters. This is also query parameters, but in different way. So here we can say to do, and instead of request body to do, request params to do, and then filter will work the same way. Now if I post something, do something, and then delete hash. Well, let's delete this two, since they have the same name. They are both gonna be deleted, I guess. No, because of what's wrong with this? Let's console this. Probably because of the space, we cannot use it like that. No. One second, let's copy and paste this. Hmm. I will take a look at this actually. If it's equal to, for example, where is the database? Okay. Study.js. Let's see. So I think I'm doing something wrong here. Filter, yes. Returns to. I will convert this to normal function and then value. Other one. Then again return val request arms to do. Okay. So we will see in the filter what's wrong. Make one call. Go shopping. And study.js, buy groceries, study.js, study.js, study.js. They are same, but somehow something goes wrong. I don't know. Let's do this. Actually, true, 4. This is wrong. Yes. But, so the last one, which is study.js, is true. So they are same. Then I'm doing something wrong with filtering, probably. Oh, okay. this returns something new, basically a new uh, array, and we need to store it again in this override database, and then we will get dump. So yeah, then it shouldn't be constant because let's make it variable or then yes. So if I now also like this, as you can see, we don't have anything now. I make post request. No, without thing. So if it was a database, real database, now we could store things basically in the database. Let me again go back with this function formats. So what we did so far, we created a get call which returns all the database values, and then post call which adds new data to database, and also delete method which also does the like with the to do itself we filter, but normally it should be actually with an ID. So this is not a proper way. It should be ID, and then you should filter by ID, not by the name. But it's not a problem for this example. So this is how you work with it basically. And for example, here instead of sending to-do list all together like this, maybe we could use something. We could do something else, which is we can maybe do something like that. This um, special quotation marks, and then to dos. Of course, this should be in SAP tag HTML. So we could also send an HTML. Let's try it now. This is post, sorry. We'll copy this and Control Z to back. So I will put it here now. If we refresh, we get this. Let's make it H3. If we are going to see a difference, yeah, we see it's different now. You can even add CSS, style, color, red. But this tree out, this is not good. So now we have it. And then let's say after this we have BR. And then what we have is let's create a function. This is like how actually we are going to manipulate how to print our database in HTML, but normally I will explain how is the proper way, and you will see also in the coming lessons that way. This is like just only for demonstration, for an experiment purpose. Let's say we have here to-dos, and it's empty string, and then for loop, value of database, okay, and then to-dos will have plus equal. I will add an p tag, let's say, okay, and then value close p tag, and then maybe hr tag, so it looks maybe better. And then in the end, we will also send this to-do list. Did you understand what did I do, guys? Hello, do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear.
Did you understand what did I do?
Yes.
Okay, basically I created a string, and in for loop I added a new, I just went over the whole list, and then for each database value I created a p tag with hr and added to this string. So this string in the end became something like, let's see it, something like that. P go shopping hr p. Let's put space. So it became basically an HTML, and then we send back to the client basically. Okay, and we have this ugly to-do list. And here, for example, now we have this, right? If I go to Postman and delete one of them here, oops, let's say we are deleting the first one, okay, and if I go back to here, you see it's also deleted from here because we are getting from same source, which is database. But whenever we restart the server, of course we lost because everything will be initiates from scratch, and the database becomes again this object. But in a normal database, of course, since it comes from somewhere else, you don't initiate it everywhere. We could also, if since we know fs, we could also write this inside a JSON file. But did you see what is JSON and what's JSON file, by the way?
Actually, I'm not.
Anyone else? So none of you knows then what's JSON? Okay, then probably you will see it with Angela, but JSON is basically, you saw already objects, right? JavaScript objects. Did you?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So basically, object is something like that. Instead of RI, in RI we have everything together without, and the key is to define, to access this value, for example, index of it, like 0, 1, 2, 3, and then it goes. But when you work with object, then you define a special key for each value. Each value you have special key. And then instead of 0, 1, you access by this value, which is like, for example, yeah, for my object and name X, name Y, and also my RI X and Y. So in the first one, when you want to store something really and you want to access it later on by the key, you need to use object. Otherwise, you can use this. For example, if I want to access my object name, I can say dot name, or I can say this brackets and then name. Same, okay? Like we do it with an array, my array. Here we don't have option to write it like this because it doesn't exist. But what we have is gain bracket, then 0, 1, 2. So it is basically the key to access the value is oops, index of it. Here we have something else. If I write here also 0, I will get undefined because it doesn't exist. And I need to create basically 0 here. Oh, yes. Then I will have something here. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So then the JSON is basically this value. This one is basically a JSON. So the object is basically exactly like JSON. But this is also can be a JSON. JSON is basically let's create file so we can see. JSON is basically any type of object because in JavaScript we call it an array, but this is also an object. Everything is basically an object. But in JSON, what you have is, for example, I can say this is my oops. In JSON file, it should be always with double quotes basically. This is important. And then here, um, again, I could have instead of this, I will comment, but in JSON files you can comment also. Just I will have, for example, name, then hello. So this is a JSON file, and this is JSON format. But if you parse this to JavaScript, then in JavaScript this becomes something like that. Look, just here you have JSON, and I will go here. I will put it in one variable, xxx again. And if I format my code, this will work in JavaScript, of course. But if I format my code, you will see that these quotation marks are gone. So they are not necessary in JavaScript. This is the only difference. For RIs, it is same, but you cannot use this in JSON because one it should be always double quotation mark. And what we could do is basically have this, say, call this file db, okay, and then let's copy these values. This is also something to try out. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but let's see together. Okay, and here another one. Study Node.js. Okay. Okay. So how I can access this file? I can go here instead of database. I can again use require for JSON files. They are like text files. You don't have to export them like TXT file. That for TXT file, for example, we didn't export anything. We used FS to read the value, right? So for JSON file, I think we need to do the same, but let's try first this way, if it's gonna work or not. DB, then db.json. Okay, I'll close this file first, and then console log this. Let's see if we get, yay, we have it. So basically, we don't have to, we can require it, the JSON files directly like that. We don't have to use FS. So I will say now database is this, and then where do I define database again? I will delete this. Oh, so this. Then what I have is I import my database from JSON file. Okay. So let's see if everything works the same. And I will go and say to do refresh. Yes, I have the same. And what we can do is when someone posts something, we can add that data to db.json file. So then it will be persistent. But for that, we need to use then now FS service, FS module. And then whenever someone basically posts something, where is it? Oh, here. So let's actually we'll put here to do. Okay. Whenever someone posts something instead of database push, what we will do is, well, we can do also this, I guess. Let's try it. If it's gonna work, I'm not sure, but post and to do. Yes, it works, but still this will not be persistent, so we don't have it here. Okay, and if I refresh, come back, I will have the same values. What we can do is now, after pushing it to database, we can say fs write file synchronously, not append, because we don't have to, we want to overwrite the whole file. And then in the same folder, db.json, JSON, and then the data, the value will be database, but this probably will not work because it's not the JSON file now. You already saw how it is. It's converted to converted to JavaScript with one, and it's not double quote, single quote, and probably will not work. But let's try it. Post request. See, we have something called unexpected token in JSON position at, because this became something weird. So we don't want this. What we can do is basically in JavaScript we have something called JSON for all JSON manipulations, and we can say stringify which will make this. Oops. Yes, which will make this file, this database object, JavaScript object, it will convert it to JSON format. And now if I do this, do something, if I go open db.json, here we have do something again as well. And if I say hello world, enter, then I will have in here hello world. And if I now even format the close the server and restart it again, doesn't matter, I will always have them. So the data is persistent now. And for deleting, we will do the same. I will just copy this part, and since we are again overwriting database, I will add this to database and then send database back. So if I delete something, let's do it. Let's delete go shopping. Yes. What we have here, assignment to constant variable. Yeah, because we did it again constant, should be var. So do it again. Then if I go to db.json, we don't have go shopping there anymore. But as I told you already, this is not the proper way to work with. It's not the database actually, but this is also, you can, if you need really simple database, you can use this approach, like, but it's not wise, to be honest. You have, because MongoDB for this, and if you use MongoDB, you have all the search options and everything for free. And instead of JSON, it will perform at least, I think, 10 times better. But that was it. So I will now show you some stuff for the coming. Let's check together what we have. By the way, is there any question about these things? Is there anything that doesn't seem clear to you? If you have, please don't hesitate. Okay. Then I will go to course again. So you have now, this is already done. APIs. Yeah. Okay. Now you have JSON format there. An API is basically, this is an API. Maybe I can, well, I don't know if it's necessary, but basically, I will give you a simple example. What we do here is we get some data on one endpoint, right? This is basically an API, and there is a lot of different APIs. For example, random user API, for example. If I go to this link, oops, it will give me a random user, okay? You see the data is always different. And what we have here is also the same. So when you work with APIs, instead of creating API, you will fetch data from someone else, like from this link, or you will find something else. Let's say you want to work with Google Maps, then Google Maps will provide you an API, a URL to their APIs, and then you will fetch some data from there. They will have the same logic that we have here. They will have like a apt-get if they have Express, but they can build an API with anything else. So then they will have the same logic. If someone goes to, for example, Google Maps and /map blah blah, then they will return something. So we will have the same. We will have the response, but the logic, the working cycle is completely same. Okay. Do you have any questions about these topics? Otherwise, I will wrap up and stop, because you have here some next topics. And AGS is basically currently we do this, right? We are doing some stupid stuff to show data clearly. But in the future, what we will do is we will have some kind of AGS files, which is exactly the same as HTML files. But with these HTML files, we will do these kind of things automatically, basically. We will send that file, these AGS files, and they will be rendered as HTML with the data in it, basically. But you will see. And then we start with databases. Here we have another challenge. Okay, you have any questions? No?
No.
Okay then. I will upload the assignment today, so you have time till Wednesday. Then we will wrap up everything and see you on the coming weeks. Next week you will, I think, have a lesson with Semi and Mahmoud probably, but I'm not sure. Okay, bye bye, guys. See you.
Thank you.
Guys.
Bye bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.